Okay. I got it.
Oh. Well, here we are, Super Bowl 58, Radio Row, Las Vegas, Nevada. It would not be a Super Bowl. It would not be an appearance here for Starcade Media without our good friend, Leigh Steinberg, our friend, our confidant. We worked together on the Patrick Mahomes fans Facebook group. Now 188,000 strongly. Not bad, right?
Unbelievable. One of the great sites in the whole country.
We love it.
Clip that out,
yes.
our producers back home. Yes, absolutely. Well, how's it, Leigh? Every year around, you make the rounds. Are they wearing you out this year? Did you pace yourself? How are you making it through Vegas so far?
A lot of steps on my Fitbit, and workouts 3 times a week. You have to get ready for Radio Row. You have to have your voice do calisthenics and be trained, because it just goes forever. But that's the great thing about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there were a lot of ups and downs for the Chiefs to get here to Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. A lot of drops from the receivers, mistakes all over. People are questioning the tackles. It seems like everything is finding their way. The receivers are playing better, the tackles. Is there any other way to describe Patrick Mahomes that hasn't already been said?
Well, just that in moments of adversity, you may have thrown an interception, the crowd's booing, the game's getting out of hand. What does the player do then? Can he adopt a quiet mind, elevate his level of play in critical situations? More and more of these games are coming down to the fourth quarter or even the last drive. So adversity that you described during the regular season is going to be there, but can you focus on this moment and this experience to the exclusion of everything else?
Patrick is one of the more special people we've seen. You've talked about this since the day he was drafted. We were one of the first interviews that you did talking about him, but just observing him in a crowd, the way he's able to focus his energy and go from one person to the next and make them feel special, and then answer this question here. Then he goes up and he's a celebrity, softball tournament, hits a home run, steps off, talks to a little kid, takes a picture, answers this question I've never seen anybody that's able to compartmentalize their energy that way. Do you agree that you see that in him as well?
He's in that moment.
Yeah.
And for that moment, everything else disappears. So for this moment, all I'm thinking about is your voice. Everything else has disappeared. But when it's time to do the next thing, he'll do the next thing.
Leigh, you talked about his rookie season, trying to keep him out of commercials, just keep that kind of down until he kind of made a name for himself. And then they all came after him. And he's done that, and he's in a ton. Can you just talk about kind of the growth of that and seeing him in every commercial? Of course, everybody knows the great State Farm commercials with Andy Reid.
I just think he has a natural talent for a sense of humor, funny. He's got a little flair as an actor.
Yeah, no question about it. And Leigh, for yourself, talk about, kind of your role. I know Chris Cabot is someone that you were very, worked very closely with, that kind of knew the Mahomes family. You guys were able to put this thing together to get him to Kansas City, which was fortuitous in and of itself. But talk about kind of your role now. I know Chris, Equity Sports is kind of taken off. So talk about where things are, your role, and how things have evolved.
We co-represent Patrick.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and there's a big career with a lot to do. Chris has done an outstanding job, in a variety of different ways, including marketing. And it's a happy family.
Yeah, talk about kind of how the Netflix series Quarterback came about, as Patrick Mahomes agreed to do that, kind of pull back the curtain, let everybody see the behind the scenes of what he does with Bobby Stroop and in the building and on game day.
I think he's been very careful in terms of not doing too much. In other words, there were all sorts of opportunities he had that he felt he was maybe not ready for. But he's pretty shrewd in terms of knowing what the counterbalance is between performance on the field and outside activities.
Leigh, it would not be a Super Bowl. It wouldn't be a Super Bowl week, and it's Las Vegas, without talking about the Leigh Steinberg Super Bowl party, which is Saturday night. It's at the Ahern, correct? So talk about kind of each year as you're trying to find a venue. Last year, I think it was at a minor league baseball park in Phoenix.
Talking stick.
Yeah, that's it. Is it how you found that and how you got it together again?
So generally, I want to do a venue that is evocative of the city itself. It might, in Los Angeles, Sony Studios,
Great party.
or the 20th Century Fox we did in the past. In Arizona, the Arboretum or the Science Museum, someplace that's unique. We looked at those sites outdoors, and then I looked at the temperatures
Yeah.
and saw that it was 49, 50, 51. That's not good for having people stand outside.
Yeah.
Definitely not good. So we have a hotel, but we've got some extra things this year. We have a celebrity poker tournament
Yes.
with Jamie Gold and
Bill Hellmuth.
yes, Phil Hellmuth. And then we've got a esports competition, which will have Michigan versus Michigan State. So we're showcasing that as a developing sport, as you will. Then we've got humanitarian awards. We're going to hand one out to the president of the Chicago Bears, and Trey Smith is getting one, but he
Wow.
obviously can't get it. So
Right.
they'll have to have a.
I'll accept on his behalf.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And then again, we have the concussion seminar,
Summit, yeah.
and we have about 11 neurologists talking about prevention, awareness, and cure.
Yeah, and talk a little bit more about that Brain Health Summit and why it's so important to stay sharp cognitively.
Because the game of football involves collision, and every time alignment hits alignment, it probably produces a low-level subconcussive event. So this is a problem across the board, and we've been looking for a way to heal a concussed brain, and now think that there's a couple modalities that actually, through the theory of neuroplasticity, can heal a brain and rewire it. One of them is called RTMS, and the other is Nestry Brain Training, which is down in Florida. And so a mind is the whole center of the brain of consciousness, of perspective, of history, and it's different than any other injury because it affects your ability to perceive reality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Leigh, we're really excited about it. We'll be there on Saturday. And, you know, for you, I know for all of us, I mean, we're Kansas City Chiefs people through and through. You've had clients dating way back into the 90s that were Chiefs people. We want the Chiefs in the Super Bowl every year, right? Of course. But would it be nice to once in a while have Patrick, you know, maybe available for some of your Leigh Steinberg Super Bowl party, just maybe one time or so? I know
he's in it, so it's tough to come.
it's hard for her to get him here because he's always playing in the game.
You know what's funny is that the only quarterback who came the year Ben Roethlisberger was in Detroit, he came.
Really?
He
Wow.
came to the party, and I'm like, oh my god.
That sounds like Ben.
Yeah. No. Patrick's right where he needs to be.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And, anyway, but yeah, in terms of Chiefs, I go back to Mark Bailey, Brad Buddy, Derek
Wow.
Thomas, Jerron Cherry, Nick Lowry, Tony Gonzalez. Had a few.
Warren Moon in a roundabout
Warren
way was there for a
Moon,
couple of years.
he
Yeah.
was
Had a
right
cup of coffee.
at the end of his career.
Yes.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on this Super Bowl that Patrick's playing in.
Yeah.
A lot of people talking about him possibly catching Tom Brady and being the GOAT. This is an important one if you want to get there, to be 3-1 in Super Bowls instead of 2-2, correct?
I think you just focus on the game.
Oh, for sure. He's just focused on this
and
one.
You let all of the historical judgments and everything fall down afterwards.
Mhm.
You know? Maybe some of them not till after your career's over.
For sure.
Well, Leigh, you're involved in so many things, and I think that you take time out of your day to speak with people on social media to talk about issues. You mentioned the concussions being a very important thing for you, whether it be that people that have dealt with substance abuse issues or mental health issues. Why do you think that you have evolved as such a unique and reliable advocate for people that are in need?
We love your Wednesday wisdom segments.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. My father raised us around two core values. One was treasure relationship, especially family. And the second was, could you make a meaningful difference in the world, help people suffering from pain, help people who can't help themselves? And so really at the end of life, that's what there is. There's the quality of, maybe your spiritual relationship, but it's the quality of, was you a good son? Were you a good father? And if you saw need out there, did you act on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Hollywood out there they're doing a lot of remakes. Can we get a Jerry Maguire remake? The story of Leigh Steinberg?
Well, there are some documentary filmmakers who talked to me about doing that.
I can't get anybody but Tom Cruise. I'm just too big of a Cruise fan. I loved it. I love the movie. Leigh, we appreciate you so much, and we can't wait to see you Saturday night at the Leigh Steinberg Super Bowl
Looking
party.
forward to it.
It's the event of every year, and they'll be back in LA in a couple years, so you'll be able to just stay home again. Super Bowl's coming back.
This has been a magic trio because
Right.
because if you're in Southern California, it's been LA, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and then it's going away.
Yep.
Then it's coming
New
back. Then
Orleans.
you'll have Santa Clara and then LA. So you'll be
Yes.
back into the
One
business.
small year in New Orleans, Leigh, we can make it, right?
Oh my God. But can our livers make it?
That's a different question. We'll have to answer later.
Leigh, thank you so much. We always appreciate you, and we'll see you on the Patrick Mahomes Fans Powered by Starcade Media Facebook page.
I look at it every day.
Such an honor. Thank you.